Greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Sorcerer Tal. You can also find me on Facebook and in the Sorcerers Guild. Today, I'm going to be attempting to add a third generation of Triops to my Altar's Servitor Minion program. As you will recall in previous videos, I have been working with yeast. I have also been working with Triops and Daphnia to create a few different things within the Altar Servitor program. One is a hive mind that operates as the CPU for the entire altar itself, allowing my altar to perform basic functions without my input and make those decisions within the minds of the smaller beings that exist within its space. As well, on top of that, we are adding pieces of the altar itself as egregore souls into the beings that are being born upon the altar or hatched upon the altar. And so as they grow, they are living egregores that after they die, in the case of the Triops, I will then extract from the tank and attempt to make a type of egregore Ka spirit hybrid. I have had some success with this in the past. If you will look back, I have a Triops Ka that was made through this process that has been quite successful in helping people achieve lucid dreams at this point. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into the experiment. I believe I have refined the process quite well at this point, so we'll see how this goes. In this case, I'm going to be starting out with water from the aquarium here. Watch out, little fish. You're not going to be switching tanks. Add that to the new little vase where the Triops will be being born. They may get transferred to this larger tank as they grow, but for now they need to be isolated from the fish and allowed to grow without interference. But we want to use the tank water so that it is magically linked to the rest of the altar, and also for practical purposes so that all the microorganisms are in there for the Triops to eat, because even though they are quite small, they are actually predatory. Okay, now I haven't actually added this sigil onto the tank before, so I'm going to go ahead and add the Servitor Minion sigil to the aquarium now, as well as to the jar where the Triops will be hatched. You can see you there. There you are. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and charge that sigil. Linking this tank and the water therein to the altar and the Servitor Minion program. Breath of life into that. And then the next step will be to add the rocks that provide the necessary calcium for the Triop to hatch. Add that to the bottom of the tank there. And it didn't say anything about giving it time to settle, so we're going to go ahead and go on to the next step, which would be the adding of the eggs themselves. Let's make sure I have the eggs. Now, if you attempt to do this, unless you have water like this, you need to start with eggs that have the detritus with them, because it provides the microorganisms that the Triop will be feeding on until it is large enough for you to see and start feeding it with the regular food. So, because you can order just the eggs off of places like Amazon, but they don't work as well without the detritus unless you have what you would call live water, living organisms in the water. Okay, so we have the detritus and the living organisms. We have the Servitor Minion sigil directly on the hatching tank, and we will now add the eggs. If I can figure out how to get the package open. There we are. Add the eggs and the detritus mixture to the top. And that will probably result not just in Triops being hatched over the next few days, but also most likely the Daphnia, which you have seen in previous videos as well, and the Fairy Shrimp. And all of those will be attached to the minion, to the Altar's minion, Servitor Minion program, and will allow it to function with it to link the hive mind to the decisions that they make as they go about their daily basis. As well as I said, create the Triops, hopefully, which will then be later converted into cause spirits, like we have in the vial here. I have some that turned out a little better in the past. The Lucid Dream one that I mentioned has actually been given away as a gift, and he turned out much more aesthetically pleasing. If you want to check him out, there is a video I have of him, I believe. Okay, so that will be it for this episode. Thank you once again for joining us. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please take the opportunity to do so now. Until then, bright blessings and an interesting fate. This has been Sorcerer Tal.